How many high schools can make this claim? Christ the King of New York sent this two-time National Player of the Year to Tennessee. This National Player of the Year to UConn. And now, perhaps another National Player of the Year is a Husky as well. Tina Charles, a freshman, is already rewriting the record book. Shamika Holsclaw won 3 national championships for the Lady Vols. Sue Bird won 2 with the Huskies. How many banners will they hang before Princess Charles is done? UConn and Villanova next. For the final time this regular season, the 5-time national champions have come downtown. Today, we are at the Hartford Civic Center, where the Villanova Wildcats visit the 3rd-ranked Connecticut Huskies. And although there are still 2 games left, UConn has already clinched its record 15th Big East title, wins in its last 2, and the Huskies will finish the conference season undefeated for the 6th time. And a very pleasant good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Megan Kumo. Thanks so much for joining us for our final telecast of the season here on CPTV. Megan, there's a reason why UConn is the best team in the Big East. Matter of fact, there are several reasons.
Yeah, there are several. And, you know, there's a school of thought that you have to play defense and rebound the basketball to win championships. And if you look at some of these staggering numbers that the Huskies are leading the Big East in not only defense and rebounding, but they score, they shoot the ball exceptionally well, and they've got 5 players averaging double figures. And perhaps the best of those 5 is this young lady, the freshman who had a record-setting performance down. Maybe it was the warm weather in Florida that appealed to Tina Charles, but the Huskies are hoping that she continues. And let's take a look at the way she's been playing. Now has the confidence to take and make the foul line jumper. And what a great nose for the ball. Crashes that offensive glass and finishes. And here catches the ball in the middle of the lane and finishes better than she did. And that's with a bum right shoulder.
Villanova is suffering through one of its worst seasons ever. A shining light is Jackie Adamczyk, the 8th leading scorer in school history. The opening tip is next. Megan Kumo back at a rockin' Hartford Civic Center, all set for the 46th meeting between Villanova and UConn. Let's check out the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Wildcats, Stacey Whitman was in the infirmary on Thursday with severe abdominal pains. She checked out okay. She has been Villanova's best player this year. Has averaged 16 points in her last 7 games. And for UConn, Sharday Houston on Tuesday night in Tampa became the 28th player in Huskies history to score her 1,000th career point. Villanova is coached by the venerable Harry Peretta. He's in his 29th year, and he is the dean of Big East coaches. 29 years along Philadelphia's main line. And his good friend Gino Auriemma has coached UConn to 5 national championships and 8 trips to the Final Four. Only meeting of the season between these two. And Megan, there will be no Big East tournament for the Wildcats at 1-13 in the league. They will not qualify.
Yeah, I mean, that's bizarre to think that Harry and his troops won't be there.
Bob Trammell, the official, tosses the ball up. He's working with Barbara Jo Smith and Janice Aliberti. And the Huskies with the ball. Mel Thomas gives to Houston, puts it on the floor, hands to Charles, draws the double team. Rebound inside Battle. Who touched it last? UConn did. Jackie Adamczyk, one of the few veterans on this Villanova team, number 35, has had an outstanding career. But it's a very young team, Megan, and they've really paid the price for that youth at 7 and 20.
Yeah, I mean, Harry thought coming into the season they would maybe win, you know, 11 or 12, maybe 13 or 14. And I don't think he ever predicted 1 in the Big East.
Whitman, bounce pass at the feet of Adamczyk. Montgomery got a hand on it, and here comes Thomas.
You know, confidence is a funny thing. They're playing right now, and you can just, he said, there are stretches where they look good and then stretches where they just look lousy.
Green to Houston. Puts the ball on the floor, dumps it inside to Charles. Looked like she may have gotten bumped. No call, and a turnover for the Huskies. There's the youth of the Villanova team. That includes the 2 players who are freshmen who are redshirting this year for non-medical reasons. And the future looks much brighter for Villanova next season. Lisa Karsich misses the three. Long rebound on the floor. Last touched by Villanova. As we look at Stacey Whitman, who missed 10 games earlier this year with a stress fracture, and that came at a very inopportune time for the Wildcats.
Well, yeah, especially since, she's such a versatile player for the Wildcats, and to have your best player go down, it just sort of, pardon the pun, adds insult to injury.
Renee Montgomery, low post to Charles, to Houston from the elbow, off balance. So far, UConn really hasn't had a clean look yet. And the ball, we're going to get a rebound foul on the Huskies. It will be on Kalena Green, the first foul of the afternoon. UConn has controlled this series in recent years, winning 20 of the last 22, although the two Villanova wins were memorable. One of them was in the Big East Championship game, and it snapped UConn's NCAA record 70-game winning streak. Adamczyk with the miss, Charles with the rebound, 3-on-3, Montgomery with the blow-by.
Oh, she used her left hand.
She used her left hand.
We'll have to show that on the next Gino show and remind the coach that she does indeed have a left hand.
On the way out of the building in Tampa the other night, I said to Gino, I said, notice that she went to her left. He said, yeah, she went to her left with her right hand. Well, she just used her left hand. Might have been the first time she ever did it, however.
At least in a Husky uniform, I think it is.
Grant with the miss, Montgomery the other end. Long rebound, Houston knocked away. Last touch by the Wildcats, and a fresh 30 for UConn. Huskies are 25-2. They're 14-0 in the Big East.
And Harry's pretty mellow. He even said to us, Bob, that he's not stressed. When you're not that good, it's a lot better than the stress that comes along with winning a lot of games.
Charles hit the shot. Harry actually told me the other day, he said, I won't look at the scoreboard once during the whole game. I said, you're kidding. I said, I'm not. I won't look at it once. The problem is our kids will, and when we get way behind, we try to catch up all at once and we play worse. Whitman with the miss, rebound Green. Here's Montgomery, has Thomas left and Houston to her right. Gives to Thomas, who took only 2 3-point attempts the other night in Tampa. Charles with the miss, Houston with the offensive rebound.
Sharday Houston is just so much more active, whether it be catching the ball in some context of the offense and passing or crashing the offensive boards.
Grant, right side, Carson. She's their best 3-point shooter. Not on that one, though. Shot clock didn't recycle. It's still at 15. Nice cut for the hole by Carson, and a good feed from Whitman. That's more like the Villanova basketball we've become accustomed to over the years. Moving without the ball.
Absolutely, and they don't turn the ball over, and they shoot a ton of 3-pointers. Houston
with the miss.
Nice box.
Great box out by Karsic. Last touch by the Huskies. And we get our first substitution. Keisha Soignier will check in, replacing Kalena Green. Soignier got knocked down the other night in Tampa, did not return. Really got her bell rung.
Yeah, and talking to her father afterwards, he was really concerned that she had gotten landed on. Her head got landed on by the South Florida player, and luckily that did not happen, or it would have been a much worse injury.
Adamczyk with the miss, and the rebound to the smallest player on the floor, Soignier. Quickly Thomas, open floor, unleashes the three. It's her 170th career three. And she moves into a tie for 6th place on the all-time list with Maria Conlon. And she's got another year plus a postseason to go. Grant, great defense there. Well, evidently not. They're going to get Houston for a foul. She certainly was in position to make the play. Her first and 2 on UConn.
You notice UConn is in a half or 3-quarter court pressure. That's just to kind of speed the game up. Villanova doesn't turn it over, but they want to slow it down, and pressing allows the Huskies to keep the game moving.
Well, an historic moment in UConn history. Renee Montgomery going to her left. Villanova has missed 6 of its first 7 shots and trails UConn by 7 just before the opening tip. UConn junior Sharday Houston honored for scoring her 1,000th point on Tuesday night in Tampa. That's something you did a year or 2 ago. They give you a ball when you did it?
They did. I don't remember. It was so long ago, honestly.
Now,
and I was a senior when
you haven't used that like in pickup games in the driveway, have you? So like all the lettering is worn off?
No, but I'm sure the kids might get a hold of it at some point. It doesn't have any air in it. It's so old.
At the free throw line, Grant makes the shot. Tia Grant's older brother Kenny was a terrific point guard at Davidson, was 5th in the country in assists last year. Now playing overseas in France. Off the missed free throw. Boy, the parting of the seas for Soigné. She missed the layup, and she got the rebound. Montgomery with the much more comfortable right hand, and Charles with the putback.
Well, that's what makes UConn so difficult. They just have so many ways to hurt you and so many weapons.
Adam Schick up the floor. So far, Villanova doing a good job of beating that full court UConn press.
Well, exactly. They're number 2 in the nation with only 12 turnovers a game. So they take care of the basketball.
Following the Grant miss, another Charles rebound. Montgomery already 4 rebounds for Charles, but she's had a lot of chances because Villanova is 1 of 8. Thomas defended by Grant. At the elbow, Charles spins single coverage, and that didn't work too well for Villanova.
Well, there's no way that Karsic can contain. So that's all she can do is contain her, but she's going to have a very difficult time stopping Tina Charles.
6 of Villanova's 8 shots have been from 3-point range. That is not at all unusual. Wildcats have attempted 339 more threes this year than their opponents. Karsic, 35% shooter from 3-point range. Shot clock inside 10. This is normally where Villanova's good, late in the shot clock.
Right on cue. Adam Schick knocks it in.
Adam Schick, the 8th leading scorer in Villanova history, now with 1,355 points. Houston gets a step on Whitman. She can score, Megan, in so many different ways.
Well, we've said it all year and even longer that the only person that can stop Sharday Houston is Sharday herself.
Up top it comes to Getty, part of that all-freshman starting backcourt for the Wildcats. Adam Schick defended by the much shorter Montgomery, and as she starts to go, we're going to get a reach-in foul. It will be on Montgomery, her first, and number 3 on UConn. And substitution, Villanova, I'm sorry, Heather Scanlon comes in.
The lumps that Villanova is taking this year with this very young ball club, I think will reap major benefits for them in the years to come, because the experience they are all gaining, it's baptism by fire, but they will be so much more experienced earlier than many of their comrades around the league.
Adam Schick with the miss. The rebound goes off the hands of Scanlon and out of bounds. So we'll come back over to the Huskies. We're out to an early 10-point lead. There's Megan Gardler, who was Heather Scanlon's teammate at Cardinal O'Hara High School in Philadelphia.
It's a small world, that Philadelphia basketball circle.
Thomas. And the tentacles go very far, particularly in the coaching profession, on both the men's and women's game. Inside Charles, and the foul on Whitman.
Again, another difference there. Tina Charles, much to the delight of her coach, scoring while getting fouled. The nice unselfish pass from Keisha Soigné. And I love, as this year goes along, as this young lady gets more confidence, showing more and more emotion on the floor.
Charles 5 times has been named the Big East Freshman of the Week. She is an absolute lock for the Big East Freshman of the Year award, keeping it in the family. Renee Montgomery won it a year ago. And now Charles is being talked very extensively about winning perhaps the National Freshman of the Year award.
Well, she does have some incredible numbers.
Left side Whitman hoists the 3. Long rebound off Scanlon's hand to Thomas. Villanova 0-for-7 from 3-point range. Right side Green. Soigné dumps it down low to Charles, who's fouled by Scanlon, her first, and 2 on Villanova.
It's a difficult matchup inside for the Wildcats to try to, you can't do it one-on-one to try to stop Tina Charles. You've got to do it by committee.
Charles gets a nice ovation as she departs with 8 points and 4 rebounds. You have to figure that if Charles has a strong game today, she would be a contender for the Big East Player of the Week award, which comes out on Monday. Houston with the over-the-back foul on the rebound. That's her second, and 4 on the team.
And this is a young lady, as we see the black brace on her shoulder, her shoulder pops out in practice every once in a while. And then, 20 minutes later, she's back in. But we want to talk about a tough kid.
Siobhan O'Connor, number 4, is checked in for Villanova. 5'6" sophomore from Westchester, Pennsylvania, the home of Gino Oriana's alma mater, Westchester University. And Scanlon will be called for the offensive foul. 2 quick fouls on her and 3 on the Wildcats. She'll sit down, and she's replaced by Lisa Karsich.
Nice team defense there. Montgomery stepped in, took that charge, and you see the look on Scanlon's face like, oh, are you kidding?
We've played 7.5. It's UConn by a dozen. Down low Houston. She's double teamed. Didn't matter.
The biggest difference with Sharday Houston these days as opposed to, a month ago is tremendous patience. When she catches the ball, she's very, very patient and makes good decisions, and she doesn't hurry up. That's why she's not walking anymore.
She's got 6 points. Getty's pass is down at the feet of O'Connor. Held ball arrow toward Villanova with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. And Grant will re-enter for the Wildcats, replacing O'Connor. Villanova has lost a school record 12 in a row since beating West Virginia for its only conference win on January 6th. They have a chance to win another one in their final game of the season, Monday night at home against Providence. Providence in the league has won only 4 games. Karsich hoists the 3 and knocks it down.
See, that's what you're used to seeing with Villanova. You're used to seeing them knock down threes from all over the floor.
Karsich's 35th 3 of the year.
That was a great play by Tina Charles. Kalena Green was in the low post, and then Charles went to that little step-out spot along the baseline. Impossible to guard both.
So the lead is back up to 13 with 8.5 minutes gone. Cross-court pass stolen, and here's Swanea ahead of everyone. Getty will not catch it.
Very few people can catch Swanea, who's faster with the ball than most people are without.
So Villanova has turned the ball over for already 3 times. That's a lot for them in 9 minutes. As Megan mentioned, they've committed the 2nd fewest turnovers in the country. However, their turnover margin isn't good at all. They don't force turnovers at all because they're not very athletic. They're only 15th in the Big East in turnover margin. Shot clock inside 10. The baseline cut. Karsich, wild shot, rebound pulled down by Charles, her 5th. Here's Swanea. Heck of a screen set by Kalena Green. Freed up Thomas with a wide open jumper.
Those are the little things that a team will do that a lot of people don't notice. That little screen by Kalena Green opened up that play.
Well, Megan, as we mentioned, this is our final telecast of the season here on CPTV. The rest of the games will be televised nationally by the ESPN family of networks. So certainly some people we'd like to thank, beginning with the people of the University of Connecticut and the boss.
Yeah, there he is.
Director of Athletics Jeff Hathaway, and his trusty aide is Executive Associate Director of Athletics Neil Eskin, the Associate Athletic Director of Communications Mike Enright, the Assistant Director of Athletic Communications Randy Press, who I think sees more of me than my wife does during the basketball season.
No doubt about that.
And the women's basketball administrative assistant Sarah Darris, who may be the key to the whole operation here. I mean, forget about Bird and Tarazi and Lopa. There wouldn't be 5 banners hanging without Sarah.
Well, no, Gino would if he didn't have Sarah, it would be like his head would just be dislodged from his body.
He wouldn't even know when the games are being played.
He wouldn't know what he's doing.
He'd probably be playing golf today. Oh, we have it noon Saturday? All right, where? Hartford again? Okay. So,
Sarah is the best.
Thank you to all the people at UConn that make our job so much easier. Out of the Villanova timeout, Karsich looking for her 2nd 3. Long rebound to Adamczyk, and a fresh 30 on the shot clock. This is a 12-3 UConn run, and Whitman knocks down the 3.
And this is just like Harry said, where they have minutes where they make shots and they run offense, and then they have other times where they don't run anything that looks remotely like what they are supposed to be running and what they know they should be running.
35th 3 for Whitman. McLaren with the miss. Rebound in traffic to Grant. You mentioned that her brother Kenny was a great player at Davidson. Their father, Kenny, was a terrific player at St. Peter's. And he's now an agent for European players. Kalena Green.
Wasn't her mom a great player too in Sweden?
Yes, she was. And in fact, Tia was born in Norrköping, Sweden. Boy, Montgomery nearly made the circus shot. but she will be rewarded for her efforts with a couple of free throws when we return. They said she would. We got a held ball?
We got a jump ball instead. Barb Smith called the jump ball.
Wow.
Whoa.
Boy, you want to get knocked on your head, you want to at least get a couple of free throws out of it, huh? UConn by 14. The Huskies looking for their 12th straight win.
We'll stay with CPTV following today's game for a special treat. Celebrate the man behind the victories. A tribute to Gino is a classic American success story of an immigrant's passion and perseverance. Discover the private man in a very public profession. A tribute to Gino, a CPTV original following the game.
And of course, at the beginning of that little clip, you just saw the great Dr. Jack Ramsey, who Gino selected to be his presenter when he was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in September. Of course, Dr. Jack really started this whole Philadelphia Cradle of Coaches thing at St. Joe's. He had great teams himself, and until Larry Brown, Megan, won a championship with the Pistons a couple years ago, Dr. Jack was the only coach who had coached a team in a Final Four and coached a team to an NBA championship.
Wow. Yeah, Gino just reveres the man greatly.
Green hits the jump shot. Green is UConn's leading scorer on this team of stars. Green, in her first year as a starter, averaging 12.9 per game.
And it's funny you say team of stars. I bet you, the errant three there, I bet you there will be not one player on a Big East team, aside from Tina Charles getting the Rookie of the Year. This is a team that is so talented, but it's spread around so much, there's no one that'll make first team.
Held ball. And the arrow pointing toward Villanova. The Huskies will conclude the regular season on Monday night when they visit Rutgers. Scarlet Knights currently ranked 22nd in the country. Well, now, you know, they actually have 10 member teams now.
Oh, well, then
so I think.
And you know what I was thinking too? There was no one on the preseason team, right? It was Renee?
Montgomery.
Renee
Montgomery.
But look, I mean, look at Kalena. She came out of
Montgomery
nowhere.
was one of the 10. Another turnover for the Wildcats, their fourth. Montgomery was one of the 10 players named to the preseason All-Big East team, and Houston was preseason honorable mention All-Big East.
But you tell me one team in the league that wouldn't want any of these players in their starting five.
Well, I have to believe that Houston and Charles. Well, I don't know. Houston's going to make the All-Big East 10-member team, and Charles might not, because sometimes you know the way the coaches go. They figure, oh, she's a freshman. Wait till she gets older, then we'll get it. I think Montgomery got a shot also. But I don't know that three will be in. Maybe two. Charles misses the shot, gets her own rebound. She's got 12 points and 6 rebounds.
And she's trying to say, I was fouled. Even Gino's looking over at Janice Alberti saying, what's the story, man? Call that foul.
UConn has scored 20 of its 25 points in the paint. That has been a pattern. Whitman for 3. Long rebound, Charles. She's got 6 rebounds already.
And here's the problem for Villanova. You take the long-range shot. If it doesn't go in, the rebounds are usually long and deep. And that leads to a break for the Huskies.
14 points and 7 rebounds for Charles.
Is this young lady just playing at a different level?
Wow.
Or what?
She got her 9th double-double of the year the other night. That is a record for a UConn freshman. Boy, Aliberti kept that ball from going out of bounds and went off Brianna Weiss's hands. And
right
Aliberti all 4-8 of her.
Exactly. Villanova needs a little luck.
Karsich.
And look at that. They get a 3 as a result.
Karsich knocked down a 3. Her older sister, Tanya, was a terrific player at Cornell. Averaged 15 points per game and was a third-team All-Ivy League performer her senior year. Green with the pull-up.
The explosiveness of Kalena Green.
UConn is 16 for 27 from the floor, shooting 59% in the early going. The Huskies lead the Big East and are 4th in the country in field goal shooting at 48.6%. Inside, Weiss missed the shot. Rebound, Green, her 4th.
Huskies lucky that time. A complete breakdown defensively. No, the weak side help came a little late.
McLaren looking for her 2nd 3 of the year. She's now 1 for 12.
That got the loudest noise out of the crowd.
Rebound, Karsich gives to Grant, and we're going to get an offensive foul on Grant. Her first and number 4 on Villanova. Brittany Hunter will come in from UConn when we come back. Hunter missed 5 out of 6 games with a knee injury before playing 4 minutes the other night in Tampa. But it's already been a huge first half for Tina Charles. 14 points and 7 rebounds for the 5-time Big East Freshman of the Week. Let's see, we got a Taurasi shirt there on the left. What's that, a Strother shirt on the right? Before long, everybody's going to be wearing number 31s in the crowd, I think.
Oh, this young lady, I just love the confidence with which she's playing. And she scores in so many different ways. And the nice pass there from Keisha Soigné. Finishing in traffic. You know, she got her own offensive rebound. We're seeing that less and less. And look at those numbers. I mean, it's hard to imagine that she hasn't even played a full season. She's going to shatter a lot of records before she's done.
Rewriting the record books. Thomas catch and shoot. And with that 3, Maria Conlett, or make that Mel Thomas, moves ahead of Maria Conlett. All alone into 6th place on the all-time 3-point list with her 171st. Pass inside deflected by Soigné. Turnover number 6 for Villanova. Green quickly gives to Hunter, and she's called for the travel. There's your all-time list. Updated. Mel Thomas scooting ahead of Conlon, and she's got a ways to go to catch the next 2. Sue Bird and Jen Rosati. Seems only fitting that they're even at something, because they are certainly the 2 greatest point guards in UConn history. Who knows? Maybe we'll think of Renee Montgomery in those games.
Yeah, you never know.
Both of them were National Players of the Year.
Yeah.
Rosati and Bird. We'll get a hold called.
Kalina? Yeah, Kalina Green.
Her 2nd and 5 on the team. And Montgomery will come in replacing Green, who's been stunningly consistent this year, scoring in double figures in 10 of her last 13 games. Siobhan O'Connor being defended by Montgomery. There's Whitman. O'Connor back to Whitman. Steps behind the arc. And the rebound, Charles, her 8th. She's 2 rebounds away from a first half double-double.
Still a lot of time to play.
Hunter sets the high screen. Soigné goes around it. Montgomery on the curl. And Hunter with a terrific offensive rebound.
And, you know, we talk about this so often, you and I, Bob, that if this team can stay healthy, particularly that young lady, how deep can they go?
Well, Hunter's ability to stay on the floor just does a dramatic difference in increasing UConn's depth. Hold on Thomas. That will be number 1 on her and 6 on the Huskies. Villanova, look at that. Everything's been a 3 or bust for the Wildcats. Well, Harry's always been good at math, and he knows a 3 is worth more than a 2. And they always build their program around the 3-point field goal and their defense and limiting possessions and limiting turnovers. That's been the key to Villanova's success, obviously, prior to this year. Charles with a rare miss. She's 7 for 11 from the floor.
Well, and the difference is this year compared to many years for Villanova, they're shooting 33% from behind the arc. They usually shoot much better.
Well, there you go. Karsic knocks one down. Her 2nd 3 of the afternoon, 53rd of the year, 4th most in the Big East. Villanova entering the game had outscored their opponents from 3-point range. This is a stunning number.
Yeah, isn't it?
621 to 255. That's points, not field goals. Thomas with the miss. Long rebound Villanova inside the 4-minute mark. And O'Connor will walk it up the floor. A year ago, Villanova went to the WNIT, won a couple of games there before losing to Western Kentucky. They had gone to the NCAA tournament for 4 consecutive years before that. Traveling violation, turnover number 7 on Villanova. The Wildcats 1-13 in the Big East, their worst start in conference play in 16 years.
Today on CBS. CPTV, enjoy Patrizio, the new voice of romance. You'll enjoy his ease and charm as he performs timeless Neapolitan and cinema classics. Enjoy the concert and get exclusive tickets to his CPTV red carpet concert when Patrizio comes to Connecticut. Patrizio, the new voice of romance, today at 4:30.
And of course, while we're listening to a little bit of Patrizio, the crowd is rocking and rolling to Outkast. And when you think of Outkast, you think of Jerry Franklin, the president and CEO of Connecticut Public Television. We'd like to thank Jerry for his contributions to UConn women's basketball, along with Vice President of Local Programming Jay Whitsitt, our executive producer Harriet Unger, Senior Programming Executive Larry Rifkin, coordinating producer Tony Melisso, and production manager Ed Gonzalez. Thanks for all their efforts for another season of UConn women's basketball here on CPTV.
Yeah, it takes a lot of people to make this ship run.
Hunter with the miss. O'Connor to Scanlon. Right side. O'Connor again. Shot clock at 10. Catch and shoot Adamczyk. Rebound to the lane, Hunter. Here's Soignier. Little head fake. Down low, Hunter. Let's see if she takes Scanlon one-on-one. No passes out of the double team to Montgomery. Long rebound. Karsich runs it down.
You know, whenever a big guy makes a nice unselfish kick like Brittany Hunter did, you really hope that the shot goes in, because you know she easily could have shot the ball.
High, Adamczyk to O'Connor. Had the wide open look. Long rebound on a hop to Thomas. 2.5 remaining first half. UConn on Tuesday in Tampa won its 25th game of the year, so it's the 14th straight season they've done that. Soignier penetrates, leaves for Montgomery for the jumper. 4 points for Montgomery, who had missed 6 of her first 7 shots before draining that one. 2 minutes to go in the half. UConn by 23. O'Connor with the shove with the left hand. Her first foul, 5 on the team. Only one other game underway in the Big East. There are 8 games on the schedule today. Rutgers with a 5-point lead at Notre Dame. That's a big game. Rutgers at 11-3 in second place by itself. Notre Dame tied with Marquette at 10-4 for third. So Notre Dame would need a win to have any chance to catch up to Rutgers and the 2 seed. The shot by the Huskies, air ball. Great hustle there by Kalena Green to fire it off of Getty and out of bounds. So UConn ball with 16 seconds left in the shot clock. There's Green, the WBCA All-American, her senior year at Timberland High School. She lives in St. Stephen, South Carolina. Down low, Charles, one-on-one. She actually missed the shot. Rebound scramble. Held ball, arrow pointing toward UConn with a fresh 30 in the shot clock. And Green comes up wincing a little bit. Looks like she's held in that right elbow. They've banged it on the hardwood.
Kalane is tough, though. She won't come out for that reason.
Looking. Soignier. Charles. Boy, Villanova would love it if Charles was that far away from the hoop every time she got it. Scanlon did everything possible to box out for the rebound. Charles still got it. Soignier with the no-look pass. Charles juggled it. Ran over our cameraman. Down low, Charles spins and gets her 15th and 16th points. Boy, that Walter Ortoliva knows how to take a charge, doesn't he? He hung right in there. Tina Charles is 6'4".
Way to go, Walter.
He didn't budge a bit.
She didn't phase him.
Well, you know, we give all our camera people tetanus shots back right around Labor Day, and they usually last for the whole season. Getty with the shot, no good. Rebound inside, Green inside the final minute. Soignier goes around the Montgomery screen. Montgomery, deep 3.
I tell you what, it's fun to watch Soignier and Montgomery together. They have really gotten themselves into a terrific groove.
Montgomery, 12 of her last 17 from 3-point range. On the right, Karsich. Right corner jumper, Getty. Rebound, Scanlon. Shot clock off. Let's see if Villanova milks it for the last shot. Number 12, Kyle Doherty, is in the lineup. This is Grant. Now UConn with the double team. Reversal to Karsic. 5 seconds left. Left corner Grant. Wide open three. Villanova did everything right but make the shot. UConn ends the half with a 7-0 run. Look at the Tina Charles numbers in the first half. 16 points and 10 rebounds for Charles for her 10th double-double of the year. When UConn is leading at halftime this year, they are 24-0, and they have a 28-point lead at the half over Villanova. Well, just like his dad, little Angelo Cuomo managed to find one of the prettiest girls in the house, didn't he? He looks nice and comfortable. Meanwhile, his mom is standing by with Chris Daly. UConn enjoying a 45-17 lead at halftime.
Bob, thank you very much. CD, now you guys have a commanding lead, and you and I were just talking here before. What are some things about your team and the way you're playing that maybe the average fan wouldn't necessarily recognize?
Well, you know, even though Villanova's had trouble scoring, they're a team that makes you think on the defensive end. And because they just play basketball, they run a lot of screens, and we've done a tremendous job with that because I think we've been awake. We've had a couple miscues with open threes, but overall, our defense has had a lot to do with why they haven't scored.
Now, Tina has a double-double already, but you are saying that she can play even better than she's playing.
Well, you know, it's more decision making and making the right pass. Like the one time she missed an open jump shot, but she was thinking pass the whole time, so she shouldn't have shot it. But she's doing a lot of really great things. She's rebounding the ball, which we need her to do. And she's, you know, if she can make that 15-footer consistently, that's going to be a big help down the stretch.
Now, you know you have to be careful because you're getting a little Les Mis like your boy Gino.
Well, I'm going to have to work on that because I'm not quite as miserable as he is. But, you know, we're demanding of her because I think she can do a lot, and she's demanding of herself, so that makes it easy.
All right, well, good luck the second half.
Back to you, Bob.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. And it was a huge first half for Tina Charles, to the delight of the big crowd of UConn fans on here at the Civic Center. Let's check out the first half highlights. And Charles picked up where she left off the other night in Tampa. She had 16 points and 10 rebounds in the first half, her 10th double-double of the year, and she did it in the first 20 minutes. Mel Thomas had 8 points and moved ahead of Maria Conlon into 6th place on the career three-point list in the first half. Sharday Houston, who scored her 1,000th point the other night in Tampa, had 6 first-half points for the Huskies. For Villanova, 20 of the Wildcats' 28 shots were three-point attempts. Lisa Karsic knocked down 3 of her 7 attempts from behind the arc. She had 11 points to lead the way for Villanova, but the Huskies absolutely killed the Wildcats in the paint, 22-2. And Megan, Chris mentioned how well UConn defended the screens. Take a look at the field goal defense for UConn. They held Villanova to 21% shooting in the first half.
And let's remember, traditionally Villanova is a great shooting team. Now this year they're shooting just under 40%. So to cut that in half is pretty impressive. That tells you how good UConn is defensively.
And there's Karsic, who has done the majority of her team's scoring. Karsic, the 4th place in the Big East in three-point field goals. With 3 of them in the first half, she now has 54. Villanova ball to start the second half. Grant. Karsic launches another 3. Long rebound on a hop to Adamczyk. She's the 7th leading rebounder in Villanova history. That was her 5th today, and she's got 692 for her career. Grant. UConn starting out the second half in a 2-3 matchup zone. High post Whitney spins and fires, uses the glass.
Well, I would imagine UConn would maybe mix things up a little bit defensively. This would be a good game to try to perfect some of your other defenses.
Charles, a little jump hook in traffic, and another rebound for Adamczyk, who was a second-team All-Big East performer 2 years ago as a sophomore.
Well, Gino, after that shot, leaned back in his chair and threw his arms up in the air like, how can she miss that shot? And those are the things that Chris was kind of alluding to at halftime. They demand so much of her that when she doesn't do the right thing, it doesn't have anything to do with the shot going in, but she's got to do it the right way.
Getty, or make it Grant with the baseline drive, lays it in. Her first field goal of the day. She's got 3 points. She was born in Norrköping, Sweden, 2-time Street and Smith honorable mention All-American during her high school days at Holy Trinity on Long Island. Left side jumper, Green, air ball, rebound, Whitman. Villanova's got some numbers here. 3-on-2 to Adamczyk for the pull-up jumper. Boy, she has an unusual shooting delivery, doesn't she?
It looked like a shot put actually being released.
But that's the way she launches it every time. She's got 4 points today, and with that, she jumps ahead into 7th place on the Villanova scoring list with 1,357 points. Great look inside to Charles.
Yeah, I believe she jumped over Denise Dillon, who was a great player for Villanova for years. Many Husky fans will remember.
Charles now with 18 points and 10 rebounds. She has scored in double figures now in 10 of her last 12 games. Getty, the no-look pass, high post, Whitman no good. Rebound on a hop. Charles picks it up, and here comes UConn looking for its 12th straight win. Huskies have won 11 in a row. Villanova's lost 12 in a row. Green to Houston, all alone at the foul line, puts it on the floor, uses the right hand and will draw the foul on Karsic, her first, and number 1 on Villanova in the second half.
And again, it's the patience and the poise of Sharday Houston. She catches, faces up, and realizes, hey, I can take Karsic to the basket, and gets herself fouled to the line.
So to the free throw line will go Houston, who averages 12 points per game. Harry Peretta told me UConn has improved dramatically since the beginning of the season. Beginning of the year, I thought maybe there were 2 or 3 teams that could win the national championship, and then maybe 3 or 4 fringe teams, and he included UConn as one of the fringe teams. He says, now I've revised it. 5
no
can win the national championship, and one of the 5 is UConn.
He bumped them off that fringe, huh?
Yes, he did. Of course, Harry will not be here on March 3rd when the Big East tournament starts. Gino Auriemma suggested, well, maybe one of the other coaches in the league could hire Harry as a consultant for the weekend.
I asked Harry if he read the Hartford Courant this morning, and he said, no, I don't read newspapers.
Getty gives the ball to Whitman. Misses the shot. Long rebound, and Karsic comes up with it. Adamczyk launches the 3, and Charles is all alone for rebound number 12.
And Harry's just shaking his head because his teams have never missed this many open shots.
Montgomery counted, and another foul on Karsic.
Coming into this season, Harry's teams have never missed this many shots, and we've talked all season long about how Renee Montgomery loves the right side of the floor, and she seems to execute better and finish the harder she gets hit. Great focus and concentration to make that while you're getting fouled.
Well, there seemed to be perhaps an issue on who the foul was on. Had to be on Karsic.
For 20, Renee Montgomery, 1 free throw.
So Montgomery will go to the line to try to complete the 3-point play, and if she does, she'll get in double figures for the 21st time this year. Montgomery named this week one of the 11 finalists for the Nancy Lieberman Award, which goes each year to the top point guard in the country. But boy, she has some serious competition for that. Beginning with Lindsey Harding at Duke.
I don't know. I mean, she's a real deal, Lindsey Harding, and is having a phenomenal year for the Blue Devils.
Air ball. It will go back to the Huskies. Christy Tolliver from defending national champion Maryland also on that list. But Harry Peretta said, sometimes our kids try so hard to win, they don't do the things you need to do to win. So he's trying to just narrow the focus. Thomas, foot on the line. That is a 2. So she's got 10 points. Third Husky in double figures. Thomas in double figures for the 13th time this year. Peretta said that the goal is to try to learn something from each possession. We're thinking small goals all the way. And he said it's been that way for the last 7 games.
And I bet this is a great challenge to his coaching as well.
Thomas counted in the foul.
What a tough finish there by Mel Thomas. There's a Mel fan.
Foul will be on Grant, her second, and 3 on Villanova. Mel Thomas won the Big East Most Improved Player Award last year as a sophomore. Already has a dozen points this afternoon. Make it 14. We'll try to make it 15 when we come back. Well, between them, they've coached for just a few years, and they've won just a few games, haven't they? The two Philadelphia area products.
Look at that. My goodness. I guess the one thing you can take out of this is that the two of them are pretty old.
Gino is actually a couple years old, 1 year older than Harry. Harry's in pretty good shape, though. I'll tell you, he looks thinner than ever. Perhaps the wear and tear of this season. Thomas will go to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
Harry did say he feels better this year as opposed to any other year he can remember.
Again, this is our final telecast of the season here on CPTV. We'd like to thank our graphics coordinator, Doug Plate, our AP Russ Winham, who comes up with some terrific ideas like the one for what we call in the business our tease for today's telecast, and our ace cameramen, Mike Dunphy, Kevin Cool, Jim Bates, Paul Coleman, Mark Soteropoulos, and Walter Ordoliva, who showed his toughness in the first half when he took that charge. Thanks to all you fellas for all your contributions to UConn women's basketball. UConn in the 2-3 zone. Karsic backing in on the smaller Thomas, who knocked it away to Charles. Turnover number 9 for the Wildcats. Montgomery shot partially blocked, but a foul is called on O'Connor, her second and 4 on the team. And so Montgomery will go to the line. No, they're going to call that foul on Karsic. So that's her third. O'Connor remains with 1. And to the line will go Montgomery. Montgomery had a terrific game against Villanova a year ago, 14 points. And remember, that game was early in the season. It was the conference opener on December 8th. Nancy Lieberman will be doing the color analysis for the Big East quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. Renee Montgomery, one of the 11 finalists for the award. It's named after Nancy. Following the missed free throw, UConn gets the steal. Thomas with the pull-up. Rebound Green. Shot was partially blocked. Charles and the foul.
Well, it doesn't have to be pretty. But what great hustle by the Huskies. And, you know, it all started with Sharday Houston knocking the ball away on the press. And once again, Tina Charles just relentless on the board.
And double trouble for Villanova because that's foul number 4 on Karsic. I think she's picked up all 4 of them here in the second half, hasn't she? Yep. She picked up 4 fouls in the first 5:13 of the second half.
You know, there's a part of me that thinks she couldn't do that if she tried.
Charles with the three-point play now has 21 points. So she's got 55 points in her last 2 games, and she's got 1440 to add to it this game. Her 4th 20-point game of the season.
You know, and as Chris had sort of alluded to at halftime, you know, we haven't even seen anything yet out of Tina Charles based on what the coaches tell me and her incredible potential.
Whitman knocks down to 3. She's showing some toughness. She was in the infirmary on Thursday. She had severe abdominal pains, and they checked her out from head to toe. Didn't find anything wrong with her, so she got on the bus, made the trip, said she was good to go today, and she's in the lineup. Houston hits the jumper. O'Connor, 6 minutes gone, second half. UConn comfortably in front, on its way to a 15-0 start in the Big East for the 6th time in school history. Whitman, Adamczyk, down low, Scanlon, kick out O'Connor, wide open 3. Air ball, Green runs down the rebound on a hop.
It's terrific offense by Villanova. Too bad they couldn't get the shot to go in.
That sort of sums up their season. Thomas knocks down another 3.
And then conversely, the season for the Huskies, Thomas knocks in the 3 off the dribble.
Her 70th 3 of the year, second most in the Big East. And Thomas now with 16 points this afternoon. What's going on with the official stats here? They keep changing numbers. Thomas went from 10 points to 14 with 1 basket. Now we know why. They just took away 2. So is that right, Ed? 16? We're going to give her 16 for now. Montgomery carried the ball over the end line. Kylie McLaren comes in, and so does Soigné. And Thomas will get a rest. Talk about balanced scoring today. Charles 21, Thomas 16, Montgomery 11, Houston 10. And did you know, Megan, UConn doesn't have a single player among the 20 leading scorers in the Big East, yet they're the ones that are 14-0.
It's teamwork. That's what does it. They don't have They don't have those individual stars. They have a whole cast of them.
Houston will draw the foul on Whitman, her second, and that brings up an interesting question about how important is it to have a player to be a big scorer. Of course, you have a guy like Michael Jordan, you figure out a way to win a few games, and Jordan won several scoring titles, and the Bulls won 6 championships. But the Boston Celtics won more championships than anybody, right? 16?
Right.
Guess how many Boston Celtics have led the NBA in scoring in their history?
How many?
The next one to do it'll be the first to do it.
Is that right?
Yep.
Teamwork wins. I guess that's the point here, huh?
Yep. Houston knocks down the free throws. So she's got a dozen. She's in double figures for the 18th time this year and the 6th time in a row.
So you think that Gina wouldn't accept if Diana Taurasi had another year of eligibility, he would decline the opportunity?
Well, did Dee, I don't think Dee ever led the league in scoring, did she? Here's Soignier, and we're going to get a traveling violation. We'll look that up. In fact, we'll have our crack statistician, Ed DePrima. There you go. Look up Big East scoring champ. See if you find Taurasi's name, if she ever led the league in scoring. Getty. 1 year, Rebecca Brunson, Georgetown led the league in scoring and rebound. Only player ever to do it, Angel McCautry, likely will do it this year for Louisville. And that was one of the years when Taurasi was a defense.
Yeah, and that's if she might run it with 3 too, steals as well.
Montgomery with the lead pass to Soignier. Montgomery is 3rd in the Big East in steals, entered the game with 64. Soignier 11th in the Big East in steals. She's got 52 of them, and Houston is 10th in the league in steals. So it's not always about who's number 1 or 2 or 3 in scoring. Another steal. Turnover number 12 for Villanova. Montgomery changed directions with the ball, and she's got 13. Wheels kind of coming off for the Wildcats here in the second half.
Well, and the problem is they're playing against a UConn team who is perhaps playing their very best basketball this season.
Look at that number there. Wow. Well, we told you Villanova doesn't force turnovers. Again, they've committed the 2nd fewest turnovers in the country. That's out of 324 schools. Yet they're 15th in the Big East in turnover margin. That's out of 16 schools. McLaren gets it to go. McLaren had scored only 6 points in her previous 6 games. And Harry Peretta will call timeout with 11 minutes remaining. And UConn leading it 74-26. Final home game of the season in the regular season here at the Hartford Civic Center. A 28-3 UConn run. Number 22 for Villanova is Therese Garcia. She's a senior from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. And look at the people who have come from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania.
You didn't know so much came from such a small little town.
The world famous composer Henry Mancini, Pro Football Hall of Famers Mike Ditka and Tony Dorsett, the basketball legend Pete Maravich and Ty Law, the great defensive back who played on those 3 New England Patriots Super Bowl championship teams, all from the same Pittsburgh suburb of Aliquippa. Grant, left side, Brianna Weiss hoists the 3. Air ball. Scanlon had the rebound. She probably should have gone right back up with it, right? At 6'3", when you get the ball into the basket like that. Well, you know what Al McGuire used to say about freshmen. Best thing is one day they're sophomores.
A new CPTV documentary asks, is daycare costing too much and returning too little? Join the search for quality, affordable preschool on Closing the Gap, Our Children, Our Destiny, followed by an interactive town meeting hosted by Diane Smith, a CPTV Connecting Our Communities production, Tuesday nights starting at 8. Also go online at cptv.org.
Continuing our credit roll. Thanks to the folks that do such a good job on the audio on our telecast. Carl Kempter and Larry Remming. Videotape, Lorna Luke, Tom Grigley, John Grabowski. Video transmission, Joe Malone, Mark Dodge, and Tim Rooney. Thank you very much for making UConn women's basketball possible here on CPTV. It's our final telecast of the season. Tahira Williams is in the lineup.
And sadly, all people see is you and me.
That's sad in more ways than one. McLaren with the shot, and Hunter with the putback. She's got 4. UConn's got 76 points with 10 minutes to go. Doherty to Grant. Up top, Weiss. Whitman, the wide open 3. She knocks it down. Villanova does such a great job of freeing their shooters for open looks.
Well, you know, the best Villanova teams have always run perfect offense and gotten wide open shots. That's why if they ever got the lead against you, you were in trouble because they don't turn it over and they get the shots they want. And
uncanny how they do it late in the shot clock possession. There's a kick on Villanova. The clock will go to 15. It's a big day in the Big East. All 16 teams in action. Rutgers with an 8-point second half lead at Notre Dame. Everything else starts later. Ball knocked out of bounds. And it will be UConn ball with 10 to shoot. Villanova's attempted 29 3-pointers today. That's the most attempts from 3 by any UConn opponent this year. Hunter putting it on the floor. Hunter has missed 11 games with that chronic knee injury. She's got that right knee heavily bandaged today. Normally she does not wear a bandage on the knee.
This is a sleeve that I haven't seen her wear before.
Doherty hits the running one-hander. Doherty, a freshman from Sarah, Pennsylvania. Her dad Dan played football at Ithaca, and her mom Laura was a tennis player at Ithaca. Think they met at Ithaca, Tom?
It's a pretty good guess at that.
You know, they could have been high school
Can't
sweethearts.
get anything by
Decided to go to
you,
the same college. Montgomery, the no-look pass to McLaren. Rebound inside Hunter. Spins out of it and gets it out to Soignier. And she barely beats the shot clock but didn't hit the rim, so we get the shot clock violation.
Heads up play by Soignier to realize the shot clock was expiring.
It's only UConn's 5th turnover in the game. And Soignier, when it comes to turnovers, rarely commits them. She's 3rd in the Big East in assist to turnover ratio. Whitman, wide open 3 with Hunter taking a run at it. So Villanova has 13 field goals today, and 7 of them are from 3-point range. Whitman now 4 of 10 from 3-point range, and she's got 14 points. So she is in double figures now for the 8th consecutive game. She's averaged 16 points in her last 7. Hunter up top to McLaren. Shot clock inside 10. Montgomery on the curl. And Doherty reached in, tried to get the held ball. What do we have here? And they called the held ball. By golly.
Wow.
And the arrow is pointing toward Villanova. Little else has gone Villanova's way today. Huskies lead it by 44. This is the way the Big East standings look with 2 games to go. UConn will get an opening round bye, and in the quarterfinals will play the 8th or 9th seed. And as you look at your standings, Pitt, USF, and Seton Hall right now in a 3-way tie for 7th, and DePaul only a game behind them. So UConn's likely quarterfinal opponent would be one of those 4 teams. Which teams will go on after the Big East tournament? Well, Meg, I think it's probable that the top 5 in the standings have already earned enough to get there. And West Virginia, Pitt, and USF may have some work to do, but certainly have a chance to make the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. It all depends on what they do ending out the season, and then if they can win at least 1 game in the Big East tournament, that would do a lot for their cause. And then a lot of it has to do with what goes on around the rest of the country as well.
8 teams from the Big East made the tournament a year ago. Whitman with the miss, and the ball will go back to the Huskies. There's a look at Jackie Fernandez, the freshman from Pawcatuck, Connecticut. The first UConn player from the state of Connecticut since Maria Conlon came out of Derby High School in 2000. So I guess we've seen everybody but Cassie Kern so far today, right? Well, no, we haven't seen Megan Gardner either. Fernandez, he's still got 7 minutes to go. Sure we'll see them. Soignier leaves for Hunter. The wide open look. Got a nice touch, hasn't she?
Oh yeah, and we've said this all season long. Imagine if this amazing talent was fully healthy.
She's got 8. She was the National High School Player of the Year 4 years ago out of Brookhaven High School in Columbus, Ohio. Left side jumper by Grant. It's a 3.
3-point number 21, Tia Grant.
Tia Grant knocking down the 3. Her 22nd of the year. There's Keisha Soignier, who's got 8 assists in the ballgame already. 1 shy of her season high. McLaren to Soignier around the McLaren screen. Drives baseline around the Fernandez screen. The no-look pass to Hunter. Puts it on the floor, puts it in the basket.
I don't know if there's anyone who could stop that move.
So Hunter now with 10 points. She's in double figures for the 8th time today. And Soignier just picked up her 9th assist. And Whitman has another 3. That's her 5th of the day. That's 17 points.
More terrific offense that possession by the Wildcats, inside out.
Soignier with the 9 assists has equaled her season high. She had 9 against Seton Hall. McLaren with the jumper. And Hunter nearly came away with a rebound. Great hustle on the part of the junior from Columbus. And here come Gardler and Kearns. And now Gina Auriemma has played all 12 players on his roster. Cassie Kearns from Valparaiso, Indiana. Megan Gardler is on the floor right now. It's the same time as her high school teammate, number 55, Heather Scanlon of Villanova.
This is late for Gardler to be getting in the game. She's often gotten in the first half.
Yep. Weiss misses the shot. Scanlon kept the rebound alive, but not without being called for an over-the-back foul, her 3rd and 6th on the team. Or make that 7, so it will be the 1-on-1. Remember, Megan, we were talking before about how UConn has this great scoring balance, and you don't have to have the leading scorer in the league to win a lot of games. Well, we asked the question, did Diana Taurasi ever lead the league in scoring? The answer is no. In her 4 years, the leading scorers in the Big East were Ruth Riley of Notre Dame, Eva Koblina of Virginia Tech, Trish Julien of Villanova, and Rebecca Brunson of Georgetown. And she was a pretty good player, as I recall.
She was okay.
However, Diana Taurasi did win the Big East Player of the Year award. How many times she won it? 2 or 3 times? She won it twice, right?
Yeah.
We're going to get a blocking foul called on Scanlon. That's her 4th.
Wildcat foul number 55, Heather Scanlon.
And to the line will go Fernandez, which she has not had a chance to do much this year, but she's made all 4 of them.
Number 13, Jackie Fernandez, shooting 2.
Fernandez, the leading scorer in Stonington High School history. Indeed, Diana Taurasi won the Big East Player of the Year award twice. Your teammate, Carrie Baskin, is the only UConn player to win the Big East Player of the Year award 3 times. No doubt in large part because of some of those crisp passes thrown by number 33.
Hell yeah.
The artist once known as Pattison. Doherty on the right. Grant launches the 3 and knocks it down. It's 10 threes for the Wildcats in 35 attempts. They don't stop shooting them, do they?
No, and Harry's thinking, okay, why couldn't he made some of these in the first half?
Well, they make a few of them Monday night against Providence. They have a legitimate chance to end this losing streak, which will be 13 by the end of the afternoon. Soignier to Fernandez. Misses the shot. And the rebound is last touched by Scanlon.
Had Fernandez made that shot, that could have elicited the largest outburst from the crowd here this afternoon.
We continue our thanks to the video transmission folks at CPTV. Joe Malone, Mark Dodge, and Tim Rooney. Thanks for your efforts throughout this long season.
That was Tahira Williams who scored that?
No, it was Cassie Kearns.
Wow.
Getting her 9th and 10th points of the year. Scanlon, the lead pass to Karsich. Kick out left side, Getty, air ball, rebound to Tahira Williams. Soignier. Getty will be called for the hold as Fernandez tried to pop free. Number 1 on Getty and 8 on the team. And Fernandez will go back to the line when we come back. UConn about to make it 131 wins in their last 133 home games against Big East opponents.
Stick around after the game, folks. A special treat, a tribute to Gino, a classic American success story of an immigrant's passion and perseverance. Discover the private man in a very public profession.
Crowd of 14,783. That does not include the people seated at our table as we continue our thanks. A great big thanks to Ed DePremio, our ace statistician, the man with all the numbers who occasionally tried to make us sound intelligent this year. Thanks, Ed. Good job.
Yeah, he did it in spite of us.
Yes. We've had some pretty good stat people over the years, and Ed ranks up there. And there's Paul Smith, the man that keeps the gendarmes away from our table
my
for
mirror.
us. Our stage manager.
He looks at it a lot to check out, make sure he looks okay. Thank you, Paul, for everything.
And Ed keeps in constant contact during the game with Matt Shadoba, who is our keeps official stats on the far side of the floor. Thanks to all of them for all the wonderful work they've done throughout this season. Another three-pointer by Carson. So she's got 4 threes and Whitman's got 5, and between them they've combined to score 31 of Villanova's 46 points. We'd also like to thank our technical directors, Chris Pastor, Michelle Schlickman, and Paul Willis, for their fine work throughout the season. Foul will be called on the Wildcats. Doherty. Number 1 on her, 10 on the team, so Megan Gardler will go to the line to shoot a couple. As we mentioned, this is our last telecast here on CPTV. Monday night's game against Rutgers, just for the folks who are watching, want to know where they can find it, will be on ESPN2. And the quarterfinals and the semifinals of the Big East tournament will be on ESPNU. We hope you have it on your cable system. We know that not a lot of people in the state do. And then the Big East championship game, should UConn get there, will be on ESPN2, and the entire NCAA tournament will be on either ESPN or ESPN2. Scanlon with the long shot, no good. Rebound Fernandez inside the 3-minute mark. UConn is yet to commit a foul this half, and that's a byproduct of Villanova's style of play when many of your shots are taken from 20 feet from the hoop. Driver beware. Is that the Villanova offense?
Yeah,
they have a sign up in the lane. Fernandez to Gardler. She launches the 3. Didn't hit the rim. Shot clock didn't recycle, and McLaren will get fouled with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Number 4 on Scanlon.
And Scanlon looked at Janice Alberti like, "Are you kidding?"
That's number 5.
I think that's I think that's why she did it.
Right.
5th personal foul on number 55, Heather Scanlon.
Scanlon fouls out.
And McLaren with the good hands.
And there are only two other people we have to thank, Megan.
Yeah.
And those are the 2 most important people: our director Sean Jensen and our producer Lori Mancini.
Yeah, without them,
they're the ones that do all of the hard work.
They make it look pretty.
Pardon me?
They make it look pretty.
Oh, I thought you said they do look pretty. Lori looks pretty. I certainly wouldn't use that description when talking about Sean. But Sean's the one that presses all the buttons, and Lori's the one that tells him which ones to press.
That's right.
So thank you very much. It's our 8th season of working together, the 4 of us, Megan and me and Lori and Sean, including that memorable ribs dinner, Montgomery's in Cincinnati at 11 o'clock at night.
Always good on the belly.
Carthage drives and draws the foul, and she'll go to the line. But UConn's got some work to do. They'll be 15-0 following this one, and then on Monday night they'll play at Rutgers. They've already clinched the Big East regular season title, the number 1 seed and all that. But obviously the Huskies would love to finish the conference season undefeated for the 6th time in their history, and whereas I don't think they need to do that necessarily to get a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, if they did do that, it would be pretty tough to imagine that they wouldn't get a number 1 seed.
Yeah, and you know, I agree with you 100%, and that's why from their perspective, they want to win out and then take care of business that way. There's no question whatsoever.
You take it out of the decision maker's hands completely.
Nice pass from McLaren down to Cassie Kearns, who got fouled.
Kearns will go to the line. And the Big East tournament begins 1 week from today here at the Civic Center. There will be a noon doubleheader and a 6 o'clock doubleheader. And on the first day, teams 5 through 12 in the standings play. The top 4 seeds get byes. And the 4 winners of those games will join the top 4 seeds the next day in the quarterfinals. Doubleheader at noon Sunday, doubleheader at 6 Sunday. And UConn, no matter what happens between now and then, will play at 2 o'clock on Sunday, March 4th, in the quarterfinals here at the Civic Center. And they'll play the winner of the Saturday game between the 8th seed and the 9th seed. And we won't be able to tell you who that is until after the regular season concludes late Monday evening. And the semifinals are Monday night. Doubleheader at 6 o'clock. UConn would play in the first game if they get there, and the championship game on Tuesday night. Claire Hannenberg, number 32, is checked in for Harry Peretta. Doherty defended by Kearns. Spins, gives to Grant. Hannenberg, and we get a shot clock violation, the 14th turnover on Villanova. Elsewhere in the Big East, big game going on between Notre Dame and Rutgers with an 11-point lead. Should they hang on and win that one, Rutgers would go to 12-3 in the league. Notre Dame would lose all chance of finishing second. Louisville with a 2-point halftime lead at Syracuse. Surprised that that one is as close as it is. Air ball, scramble. Villanova comes away with it with just over a minute remaining. Louisville 9-5 entering today's action. Ball deflected out of bounds. 10 teams have already clinched berths in the Big East tournament, so there's a scramble for the last 2. Right now in the driver's seat for those 2 are Cincinnati and St. John's. And I would remind anyone who thinks, well, you know, what difference does it make when you're that low in the standings whether you make the conference tournament? I have 2 words to say to you. West Virginia. A year ago they just snuck in at number 12. They were all banged up. Their best player, Meg Bulger, was out for the year. Kearns has her shot rejected with 35 seconds to go. And West Virginia stunned everyone, won 3 straight games, including a win over number 1 seed Rutgers in the semifinals, and gave UConn all it could handle in the championship game.
Yeah, to the point where Mike Carey couldn't get over how great the UConn fans were. Wrote a letter
to the Hartford Courant to thank them. Karsich with the shot. So UConn extends its winning streak to 12. And they are now 15-0 in the Big East for the 6th time in their history, for the first time since 2002-2003. And they put themselves into position where, with a win Monday night at Rutgers, they could finish the conference season undefeated for the 6th time in school history. It's their 198th straight win at home against an unranked opponent, a streak which goes back now 14 years. It's the fewest turnovers UConn has committed since January 31st, 2006 against Louisville. They only had 6. Brittany Hunter with a big effort off the bench with 10 points. One of 5 Huskies in double figures. UConn wins it 92-49. Back to wrap things up after this.
See the Big East tournament, all of it. At $110, that needs to be on. Yep, and we have now for the $100 pledge, and I'll talk over because something else is going on. I think you may want to see this. This is the presentation of the Big East Trophy to co-captains Renee Montgomery and Mel Thomas. That's taking place right now at the Civic Center. A real achievement for this team. We started out with a young team. We didn't know where they were going to go. And now we can see them peaking. We're seeing the strength. We're seeing confidence being built. You as fans, you as members have made the games possible. We thank you for that. And now
"12 of those 15 championships have been won outright. 3 are shared." We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. Cozy back at the Hartford Civic Center, where UConn has extended its winning streak to 12 and is now 15-0 in the Big East. They beat Villanova 92-49. Tina Charles, 21 points, 13 rebounds, her 10th double-double of the year. Matter of fact, she had a double-double before halftime. She's with Megan Kumo.
Bob, thank you very much. Tina, talk a little bit. I mean, you guys are goofing around there, taking pictures with the trophy. How special it is for you guys to get that championship back?
It's real special, especially to the upperclassmen. You know, they worked so hard for it, you know, the past 2 years, and they didn't receive it. So now I'm just happy to be a part of it along with them.
Well, you can say, hey, listen, I'm used to winning, and so now I'm here, and I'm setting down the rules. You say anything like that in there?
Nah, not really, but just back home, you know, Christ the King, you know, repping Christ the King, of course, but, you know, like, I'm just used to winning everything, but it's fun. It's real. I'm having a real good time.
Well, you look to be playing with such confidence, and, I mean, you're finishing inside. I mean, I know your coaches work really hard with you, and I know, I know they're relentless, particularly Coach Ariema. Talk a little bit about the expectations that they have for you.
It's very high, as long as me too. I have very high expectations for myself too. You know, it took a long time in the beginning. Everything was just mental for me, so I think I'm just getting over the hump, and everything's going good.
Physically, how are you feeling? I know you wear this brace. Yeah. Is it any at all mental, or is it just to help keep this in place?
It's just helping to keep it in place, so I won't like stretch it as far as going for a rebound. Because like to me, it's like if a rebound's going up, I just want to get every single one. But sometimes I have to think if it's behind me, I shouldn't really get it. So it's just really protecting me and helping me.
Well, and were you aware that you had a double-double by halftime?
Nope, didn't know. I was just playing.
Well, I mean, you had a record-setting performance down at South Florida. Should we expect to see a lot more that out of you?
Yeah, you know, I have 3 more years. You know, expect a lot out of us. You know, it's just not just me, just the whole team and everybody.
All right, what are your thoughts going down to Rutgers? It's a very hostile place. Have you heard about what it's like to play there?
No, but I can't imagine it can be any worse than Duke or what I've seen on TV and how the fans are. So, you know, I'm just, like Coach said to us getting on the bench, like it's going to be very hostile over there, but we're just going to get into it.
All right, well, good luck the rest of the way. We'll see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And UConn won its first Big East regular season title in 1988-89, and this is their 15th, and they get the trophy today. Tina Charles, 21 points, 13 rebounds, 10th double-double of the year. Mel Thomas had 16, Renee Montgomery 13, Sharday Houston 12, Brittany Hunter 10. UConn only turned it over 6 times. They shot 51.4% from the floor, outscored Villanova in the paint 46-8, and leading the way for the Wildcats with 17 points each, Stacey Whitman and Lisa Karsich. And as we've mentioned, this is our final telecast of the season and the 8th season, Megan, that I've had an opportunity to work with you, and as always, I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, it was great. And you know, you think about it, in this business, you don't usually get to work with the same person, and we have Lori and Sean in the truck. Right. This has been a long time, and it's been a joy, I know, for me. Yeah,
it's been a joy. Either that, or it says something about our marketability.
No one else wants us.
One of the two things. So how far do you think this UConn team can go? Because, of course, at UConn, the expectation, you know, UConn fans, they only care about really what happens in March, and the whole season's really ahead of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the best time of year for the players and the fans, and I've said all year long, if this team can stay healthy and stay out of foul trouble, and as long as that guy's in charge, they have a chance to win the championship.
Well, Megan, it's been my pleasure. Thank you very much. You're not expecting any children to join this offseason, right?
Not this year.
So UConn with the win goes to 26-2, 15-0 in the Big East. Villanova 7-21, 1-14 in the Big East. Next up for the Huskies, they'll visit 22nd ranked Rutgers on Monday night at 7. Villanova will host Providence Monday night at 7:30. For Megan Kumo, I'm Bob Picozzi. Once again, the final, UConn 92 and Villanova 49. The preceding has been a presentation of Connecticut Public Television. Up next, stay tuned for the Tribute to Gino. It's next on CPTV, your home for UConn women's basketball.